everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Thank you for checking out this video. My name is Hiba, and here on my channel I discuss recent missing person cases. If you're into that type of content, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. With that being said, let's just go ahead and get into today's case. Today I want to talk about Brittany Hobart. Brittany is a 28-year-old woman who has been missing from Kips Bay, Manhattan since September 1st, 2021. Brittany had only moved to the Kips Bay neighborhood from Nashville, Tennessee less than a month prior to her disappearance. According to a response on a post she made, her reason for the move was because she wrote an album and was going to perform around the city. She also mentioned that she wanted to partake in the art scene and just overall have a fun time. I've also read that Brittany was working as a waitress. I'm sure we all know that living in a city can be really expensive, so it doesn't surprise me that she was doing waitressing on the side or full-time, even if it wasn't her original plan. I feel like moving to New York City is a thing that many people try to do at some point in their lives, especially artists or creatives, and that's definitely a category that Brittany fell into. She mentioned writing that album and performing, but aside from that, she also frequently mentioned her love of painting on social media. Speaking of social media, some people have gone back and looked at her recent posts prior to her disappearance and think that they're kind of eerie now that Brittany is missing. For example, she uploaded this image that says, "The end is near," but if you look closely, there's an insertion that clarifies that the end of fear is near. Also, on the post in which she announced her move to New York City, someone said, "That's awesome, you be careful, girl." And they've received responses that she's now missing, and someone even said it's suspicious that they'd make a comment like this. In my opinion, people are looking too much into things. The comment telling her to be safe is just a friend wishing her well and telling her to be safe, in my opinion. I don't think they knew that she would be missing a month later. Now let's go ahead and talk about what we know about Brittany's disappearance. Initially, it was reported that Brittany was last seen at around 2:30 p.m. on August 30th. She was seen leaving her apartment building, which I'll insert a picture of here, near 1st Avenue and 23rd Street. However, it's now been confirmed that she was seen later that night at 3 a.m., so technically it was the next day, September 1st. At 3 a.m., she was again spotted on security camera on 1st Avenue and 23rd Street, so again near her apartment building. This time, Brittany was spotted leaving her apartment building carrying only cash in her hand. She didn't take her phone or any of her other belongings with her. According to Brittany's mother, Kim, authorities haven't shared whether Brittany ever tried to re-enter her apartment building or which direction she went in. They haven't even released what she was wearing at the time that she left. To me, this is reasonable and it makes sense since it's an ongoing investigation. Like I said, Brittany had just moved to New York and the majority of her family do live in another state. Her dad does live in New York, I believe, but he lives 4 hours away. However, it didn't take long to realize that something was wrong. By September 4th, Brittany was declared a missing person, and her twin sister Brooke was in New York City to search for her. According to Brooke, the New York Police Department, or NYPD, immediately began their investigation. In the meantime, Brooke and a friend started hanging flyers. They talked to individuals who might have seen Brittany, and they looked at security footage. Brooke also mentioned that they were in possession of Brittany's phone, which, like I mentioned, she had left at her apartment. I believe that authorities now have it, but Brooke had it at one point and she wanted to let people know that if they saw Brittany online, it was actually Brooke. The next day, on September 5th, their mother, Kim, also joined the family and friends in New York City to help search. In a Facebook post, she states, "We will be in New York City until I find my child. We will not leave until we do." She also highlighted that over 200 NYPD officers have been pulled in to help with Brittany's case. I also want to mention here that it's known that Brittany's father is a correctional officer at the Mohawk Correctional Facility, which again is about 4 hours away, but it's still in New York. There are some very important aspects of this case to consider that I haven't mentioned yet. According to her mother, Brittany does have some mental health issues. I'm not sure what exactly she struggles with, but this could have played a major role in her disappearance. If you've seen some of my other videos, you may know that I certainly don't agree with the narrative that's put out there that people who have mental health issues just up and leave. We see it time and time again that a case may be taken less seriously if there's a potential mental health diagnosis. Obviously, that's unacceptable, and every avenue and angle should be explored when a person goes missing, regardless of diagnosis. However, the reason why I say that mental health may play a factor in Brittany's case is that she was recently going through a lot of changes. With a huge move away from her family and friends, it's possible that she was in a bad mindset or in a tough place. To make things worse, we know that Brittany mentioned writing an album and performing in the city. Unfortunately, New York isn't very kind to aspiring artists. I believe it's possible that Brittany was having a difficult time finding venues to perform at, and also having a difficult time being compensated for her work. Not only could the struggle of making it as an artist and the big move have led to a mental health break, but according to several sources, Brittany was also on medication. Some individuals have a difficult time sticking to their medication routine regularly. However, even if a person doesn't, it's very easy to slip up and stop taking your medication, especially if you're undergoing a lot of change. And now that Brittany has been missing for over a week, we know for certain that she's been without her medication. Suddenly stopping psych medication can have serious side effects. According to Dr. McInnes, the director of the psychiatry program at the University of Michigan's Depression Center, sudden major changes can cause all kinds of changes in the patient's biochemistry. Essentially, what this means is if you stop taking your medicine cold turkey, it could lead to worsened psychiatric symptoms along with physical symptoms. Whether she stopped taking her medication prior to her disappearance or has been without it since, it's possible that Brittany is going through withdrawal and is experiencing symptoms. She may be confused or disoriented and maybe even frightened if approached. For this reason, her family and NYPD have emphasized to call authorities if you see her. While I believe that mental health may play a huge factor here, there's obviously other possibilities. Even if Brittany was experiencing a mental health crisis, which is what led her to leave her apartment at 3 a.m. without her phone, it's possible that something happened after this. According to my research, a lot of young professionals live in Kips Bay, and it's generally safer than surrounding areas. However, the location of Brittany's apartment isn't in the best spot. It's near a men's shelter and a youth shelter, and more importantly, I think it's near the Bellevue Hospital. Bellevue Hospital is a public hospital that sees individuals from all walks of life. It's actually the hospital that Tupac was treated in 1994 when he was wounded. He wasn't there long. I believe he checked out like 3 hours after surgery, but that's besides the point. As you can see on this map, the hospital is a 7-minute walk from where Brittany's apartment is located. It's completely possible that you could run into some sketchy characters in this area, maybe leaving the hospital, especially late at night. However, that could really happen anywhere. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter where you are. It's not safe to leave your home carrying only cash and on foot, especially without a cell phone. I read a post by Brittany's aunt which states that there's a suspect in custody in relation to Brittany's disappearance. However, I haven't seen this anywhere else. If this is true, I'm not sure if this person has been cleared since the time this post was made. However, I'm glad to see that investigators are looking at this from every angle. They've also checked in with surrounding hospitals and shelters and are dragging nearby bodies of water. Brittany's family is still in New York City searching for her. They have a fundraiser to help raise funds for their time in New York. They are taking time off of work and have to pay for flights and hotels and meals and so on. So that can get really expensive, especially in New York City. I will leave that fundraiser down in the description, so check that out if you can. I sincerely hope that Brittany is found safe and sound. She seems like such a beautiful soul that spreads so much positivity and love, and I know her family and friends can't wait to be reunited with her. Brittany is 5'2" and weighs 150 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information about her whereabouts, the number for you to call will be down in the description below, as well as all my sources. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one.